If you're a survivor of violence and are ready to get control of your life again, you're in the right place at the right time. This is the Survivors to Thrivers podcast with your host, Branford Blackman. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Today, in episode 4 of the Survivors to Thrivers podcast, I want to talk to you about the importance and the magic of mindset. Now, of all the things you learn, mindset is the most important thing you can learn in being safe and taking care of yourself, with situational awareness coming in a very close second place. And we're going to talk about situational awareness in another podcast episode. Actually, we're going to talk about it a lot in several episodes because there's so many different ways you can use it. Okay, so why is mindset the most important, and how in the world is it magical? Think of it this way. Mindset is the voluntary filter through which you see, experience, and respond to everything. Now understand this, having a mindset isn't voluntary. You always have one. Whether you've chosen what it is or just let one slip in on you, you have a mindset. Redefining and managing your mindset, that's the voluntary part. Okay, so you can control your mindset. Just like the filters you can apply to your photos through your smartphone or on some of the social media websites, you can use these filters to take a regular picture, a photograph you've taken of yourself, a selfie as it were, and you can take that picture and make it seem whimsical or romantic or bizarre or anything else you might want that's available through your filters. Even to the point of distorting that image to get the image you want or the feeling you want of that picture. Now, mindset works the same way and will cause your body to actually respond differently depending on the mindset or the filter that you allow yourself to have, or even better, that you choose to have. Now, I'm going to go over that a little bit more in a few minutes because it's really important to understand how your body connects to your mindset. Let me give you a few examples so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's say, when you're driving to your eye appointment, okay, and you didn't realize that you were going to get your eyes dilated that day, so you drove yourself. Now, after you get done with your doctor's appointment, for those of you who have had your eyes dilated, you know what a challenge that is. Everything is now super bright. So you've got those sexy little plastic sunglasses they give you at the doctor's office, which are really horrible, by the way. You've got those on, and if you're like me, I'll put those on and then put a pair of sunglasses on over them because, the light just hurts your eyes, right? So anyway, that filter that I've got on, those 2 pairs of sunglasses, what you do, makes it a little bit harder to drive. You have to pay a lot more attention. Or if it's getting dark, maybe you're a little bit better off then because you don't have the sun hurting your eyes. But now every time a car's lights point at you, it really hurts your eyes. So you have to pay attention. So there are some filters, like the darkness of the glasses, that can make your life a little bit tougher. So in case you've never had your eyes dilated, have somebody else drive you there. Okay, number 2. Think about when you see a terrible event on the news, like the school shooting that happened in Kentucky just a few weeks ago. Your mindset can really be affected by that. Now let's say mindset number 1. You see that, and it is a terrible, terrible event. There were some deaths and a lot of injuries. So you might look at that and think, I'm unsafe. It doesn't matter where. Even at school, people are unsafe. My children are unsafe, and they're in danger no matter where they are or where we are. Life is a scary, terrible, awful place. Now, that's a mindset of fear, right? But you might also look at that and have a mindset where you go, clearly, life can throw all manner of events and challenges at us. Sometimes they're positive and sometimes they're terrible, like this shooting. If I prepare myself and my family, I'll be far more likely to get through the challenges safely and to seize the opportunities that show up that are positive. Now, this mindset is not about fear. It's about strength of readiness. That's two very different mindsets or filters that we're looking at the same event through. But each of those mindsets will cause you to have a drastically different experience of an event or of everyday life. Because once you have a mindset in your head, a lot of times you carry that around to many other events. Now, your mindset won't change what does happen to you, but it can most definitely change how you experience it. And even more importantly, how you respond to whatever life throws at you. I want you to think back to any event in your life where you felt very anxious about something. Maybe a test that you knew you hadn't studied appropriately for, or maybe a job interview for a position that was bigger than you've ever tried for, that maybe makes more than you ever thought you could go for. You could be really tense with that, right? Your body's going to respond differently and your brain's going to respond differently because of the anxiety and the fear. Okay, it might be that your shoulders are tense, your stomach's not happy, you're nauseous because of your nerves, your brain's kind of fogged up because instead of thinking about what you should say, you're thinking, oh no, what if this question gets asked? What if I start choking? What if I'm running out of time on my interview or test and I really have to go pee, right? There's a lot of stuff that's going on because of the anxiety. Now, even if you're doing that and that test that you're taking was much easier than you thought, it doesn't matter. The anxiety's still there, right? You may now end up missing questions or running out of time, even though it was stuff you actually knew. Same for the interview. It might be that the guy you're interviewing or the woman that you're interviewing with was just super kind. They wanted you to work there. They're excited to have you there. And you were so anxious and wound up that you really had a poor performance at your interview. So even if something good is going on, even if it turns out positive, if you're totally wound up and anxious about it, you won't perform well. Okay, so now that's part of mindset because you already believed and knew, I'm doing air quote fingers, knew that this was going to go bad, so your body responded appropriately. Now let's do another example. I want you to think about an event where you were totally prepared. Maybe a sporting event where you're competing and you knew that you were at the top of your game. You were ultra prepared. And it was also clear that your opponent would in no way be able to beat you, that they weren't even in your league. How does your body respond to that? You know you're ready. You know you're prepared. You know that there's no way that opponent can beat you. You feel strong. You're calm. You're thinking clearly. There's no stress. Now you're just focused on how you're going to win. The different ways you want to respond to the game or to whatever happens. So you have clarity of thought and your body is excited and ready in a positive way. All right, now even if that opponent actually was a lot better than you thought, you didn't know that going in, so you still ended up playing a top-end game. You were still clear. It doesn't matter what they actually knew because your mindset allowed you to play at the top of your game. It's surprising, and a lot of people don't realize this, but your body really does respond to your mindset like a loyal but unthinking minion. You see, your body responds to your needs as seen through that filter of your mindset. It will respond for good or bad to what you believe, which is controlled by your mindset. Now, this isn't woo-woo psychobabble. This is documented science, all right? If you've ever heard of the placebo effect, that's exactly what I'm talking about. What the placebo effect is, a lot of times when a drug company is doing studies on a new medicine, they will test it against a control group. So maybe they take 10 people, 5 get the real medicine and 5 get a fake medicine. So then they do the test, they see who responded well. Well, the medicine group should, if the medicine does what it's supposed to, show better results than the placebo or the fake drug, which is usually a sugar pill or something. But you also have to take into account the placebo effect. And what that means is that some people who don't receive the real medicine will still respond as though they got the medicine. Their body will start healing. And that's because their body believed that they got something that was going to make them heal. That's the placebo effect. And that happens in our daily life too. So what you believe, according to your mindset, your body will respond to without questioning it. This ultra loyal body response is exactly why your mindset is so important. It's also why it seems magical at times. Your body responds to mindset so much, I could probably teach a full day course on mindset alone. But I've agreed to try to keep these podcasts to an hour or less so you can listen to them on the way to work or wherever. So let's get back to not making this a full day course. Now let's think back to one of the events we were discussing earlier. Let's use that competition example. Remember when I was talking about being ready for a competition? Now there's plenty of competitions we could use in thinking about this, from, a cooking competition that we see on Hell's Kitchen to the Olympics. So I want to keep this simple to something we can all kind of recognize or kind of work with. I want to use a race because at one time or another, whether it was a couple of weeks ago or 40 years ago, all of us have at one time or another tried to go faster than someone else for either fun or profit. So let's use that as an example. Now, whether your race was about running, whether it was swimming, or seeing who could knit a sweater the fastest, it doesn't matter. It works the same, okay? And a negative mindset. Now, remember, we're talking about how your body responds here. If your mindset is, let's just use a running race. When you're thinking negatively, this person is so much faster than me. There's no way I can beat him or her. They're so fast. Oh my gosh, I should have prepared more. I shouldn't have had spaghetti for breakfast this morning. Whatever it is, you're thinking negatively. Well, guess what? Your body, even if you can actually beat the other person, your body is listening to everything you say. It's focusing on your mindset and your beliefs. So your body hears you going, that person will beat me. Your body hears you saying, I'm not as fast. Your body hears you saying all these negative things. Well, remember, your body is loyal, but it's not exactly the brightest minion in the group. So you're saying, I can't beat this person? Your body says, okay, we can't beat this person. Respond appropriately. So surely enough, maybe your muscles start aching too soon. Maybe your muscles tighten up. You get cramps. Surely enough, that spaghetti you had for breakfast is starting to treat you wrong during the race. Whatever it is, your body's listening. Now, the exact opposite happens if you change your mindset. So if you have a positive mindset and you're going, I'm certain I can beat this person. I'm much faster. My body's ready. I trained well. The stuff I ate was right. I'm well hydrated. When you say all of those things, your body is also listening. Remember, very loyal, maybe not the brightest, but very loyal. Your body hears you saying, we can run faster than that person. So your body responds appropriately. More energy to the muscles, more oxygen, more limber muscles, less cramping. Okay, your body listens to you and it will respond. Now, you might not beat the person, but you'll certainly run a better race when you're believing that you can run a better race and when you're believing that you can win. So mindset is very important. Your body listens. Now, this works the same even in life-threatening events, okay? For example, currently, we're all going through this big near epidemic of the flu, right? Now, I've been around a lot of sick people, and yet I don't get sick. That's really weird, right? I haven't had a flu vaccine, and I'm not telling you not to get one. But anyway, I haven't had one. The same works for strep throat. I've never had strep throat in my life, even though as a teenager, I used to date a girl who got it regularly. Part of that is me believing that I'm healthy, believing that I don't get sick. So my body listens. It says, hey, Cranford said we're healthy. Cranford said we don't get the flu, that we fight it off with ease. And my body, just like your body will, responds loyally. And so, surely enough, with all these sick people around me, having the flu all over, I still don't have and won't get the flu. Cool, right? Well, it works on other stuff too. Think about natural disasters. Let's say the mudslides out in California, right? Horrible. And they've been looking for people, trying to find survivors. And some people survived much longer than they expected. We hear stories like that on the news when there's a earthquake and they keep looking for survivors and it's been a week. No one should be alive, right, if they haven't found him yet. And sure enough, they'll find a couple of people who have lived through it. And it's amazing. Everybody goes, it's a miracle. It's unbelievable. Well, I'll tell you what I'm certain is part of this. Those people were determined to survive. They believed they could survive. It's interesting. As you know, I'm a former police officer and a couple of other things where, we had guns involved. A lot of the time I was a federal agent. I was in the Army. So it's amazing to see when people get shot. There are people who get shot in a way that should be non-life threatening, but their belief is when you get shot, you die. And there are people who die from non-life threatening gunshot wounds. And on the other end of the stick, there are people who get shot in the heart or in the lungs or in the liver or in the brain. And they're just so determined to live, they do. They survive what should have been a fatal injury. Okay, and it works the same. Like I say, it doesn't matter if a house is falling on you. If you're still alive, your chances of surviving are drastically greater when you believe that you can survive. Now, this also works on criminal events. Okay, and as many of you are survivors of violent events, not just terrible things that might have happened around you, but happened specifically to you, like being attacked by a person. Let me give you another example from my own life. A long, long time ago, as a young guy in the Army, and I was an infantry soldier, there were a couple of guys in my unit who decided they were going to steal some explosives from a training event we were doing. Well, I stopped them. They got in trouble over it, right? Now, it wasn't a whole lot of trouble. It's not like they went to prison. They ended up having extra duty, but they were not happy about it because they couldn't go out drinking when we got back. So one night, I'm in the shower. This is barracks. We don't have our own showers in our own rooms. So I'm using the community shower. So it's late at night. I'm in the shower by myself. In walks this guy and one of his buddies, and they're going to teach me a lesson. Doesn't sound too good, right? I'm standing there wrapped in a towel. That's all I've got. These two guys dressed and ready to beat me up. It sounds pretty bad. And it could have been. But my mindset was different than theirs. You see, I've always considered myself a good guy. And in my head, good guys win. And they were doing something wrong. So sure enough, they attacked me. But my response to them was so effective and strong because I believed in myself and in the rightness of what I did. It really shocked them. And they ended up turning around and taking off. Especially the second guy when he saw how I responded to being attacked by the first guy. Now, not to say I'm a superhero or some sort of karate master. That's not the case. They had the same training I had. But my mindset was different. And it worked. Maybe it shouldn't have. Me against two guys. Me dressed in a towel. Them dressed in uniform, in combat boots and BDUs. Yeah, I shouldn't have won, should I? But I did. So it doesn't matter what the situation is. Your mindset is very, very important, and it can help you survive and get out of situations. So as you can see, your mindset can change your life for better or worse, depending on your choice of mindset. Your mindset can and will cause your body to respond appropriately to the mindset that you hold. A positive mindset can increase your readiness. It can increase your motivation and your odds of success in any situation. Now, for anyone who is a survivor of violence, and a lot of you are just like me, I want you to listen to this closely. The event that you came through has affected your mindset about personal safety. Most of you know it has. Some of you may not realize it, but it has. It cannot be any other way. The events in your life affect your mindset, especially if you are not actively controlling what your mindset is. Maybe you ended up feeling constantly vulnerable or too weak to respond appropriately. And you know what? That's completely understandable. It makes sense. It's also something that you can change. It might not happen overnight. It might take much longer, but it can change. And the sooner you start working on it, the sooner you can get to a place of being confident, of being courageous, and being capable of handling whatever challenges present themselves in your life. And since you're listening to me right now, I know that you want that courage and that confidence in your life. And I applaud you for that. So how do you get there? It starts like anything else you've chosen to learn, whether it's how to cook, learning a new language, or learning a new sport. Anything. That learning goes in this order. You learn to crawl, then you learn to walk, then you learn to run, right? Very normal. Now, the crawling part might not sound so exciting, but it is so much better than staying stuck and not moving at all. So believe me, crawling is good. Now, I'm creating these podcasts and the lessons that I teach for this very reason. Even if you don't yet have a strong belief in yourself or your ability to become or regain your confidence and courage, I do believe in you. I believe in the strength of the human spirit. And if you're still breathing, you have the ability to crawl and then to walk and then to run towards any goal you desire. So please listen to these podcasts with sincerity. Practice what you learn from me. Share what you learn. That sharing of what you've heard here and explaining it will help to reinforce what you're learning and to reinforce your own self-confidence. Now, the other thing that I want you to start doing, and I want you to do it today, is this. I want you to start saying positive and powerful things to yourself, even if you don't yet believe them. Even if you don't believe this stuff, I want you to start doing it. I want you to say positive, powerful things to yourself. Now, did you notice that I said say them to yourself, not think them? Well, here's why. Because when you think, the only person that hears it is you, and it's only in your mind. That's the only place it shows up. However, when you say something, and I mean say it out loud, you don't have to scream it, but say it out loud, you have just engaged two physical aspects to creating the mindset and beliefs that you want to have. So first, you took those thoughts that you have and you made them become real sounds in our real world by speaking them. That made your body do something. It took effort to do it. Your body did it. It took something from thought to real life and made it happen. Number two, after you did that powerful thing of speaking those positive words to yourself, your body actually heard what your voice said. Your voice, remember, your body believes everything you say. Your voice is a trusted source of information, and your ears heard it. Your body heard what you said. So these chosen truths have been experienced both mentally and physically, and that makes this even more powerful. So here's a few things to say to yourself just to get yourself started. And remember this, your mind responds much better to positive statements rather than negative statements. So try to keep any negative words out of whatever it is that you're telling yourself to build up your own confidence and to adjust your personal mindset. For example, you don't want to say, I'm not sick, because within that sentence you have, I'm sick. Instead, say, I am healthy. It's completely positive and also covers the part that you're not sick because you said I'm healthy. So keep them positive all the time. So here's a few things you can say. A lot of people call them affirmations, which is fine. Here's a few things that I want you to say to get you started. Now, you might want to write these down. Put them on Post-it notes and stick them in your bathroom, on the mirror. Put them on your nightstand, on your fridge. Put them on the dash of your car, your desk at work, wherever. The more you say them, the more it's in your head, okay? And the more you say it, the more you think it, the more it will get into your mind as the way things are to help you adjust your personal mindset. All right, write these down. Here's what I want you to say to yourself. Now, you can say other things, but this is just to get you started. I am always healthy. That's one of those that I use. That's why I don't have the flu right now. I am always healthy. Here's another one. My body is strong and heals quickly. My body is strong and heals quickly. You can also say it this way. I am strong and I heal quickly. Okay, here's another one. I think clearly, even in stressful situations. It's so easy for us to get wound up when we're stressed, to not think clearly, to get, bamboozled into not being clear and not doing the right thing. So focus on this. I think clearly, even in stressful situations. All right, here's some more. I am smart and capable of great things. Now, you might not believe that, but I believe it. And your body will believe it if you keep telling it, okay? Don't listen to anybody that tells you different from that one. That's important. Say it. Write it down and say it. I am smart and capable of great things because you are. Here's another one. I learn quickly and retain what I learn. I learn quickly and retain what I learn. So, of course, that will include all the stuff you're going to learn from me and anything else you're doing, whether it's your new job, that class in how to speak Mandarin, whatever it is. Tell your body that you learn quickly and that you retain that information. All right, and here's the last one I'm going to give you. It's okay to come up with your own, and there's lots you can find on the internet, or lots of positivity books that have stuff like this. But this one's very important, so focus up and listen. Here it is. I am worthy of love, prosperity, and happiness. That one might be a tough one for some of you to say, especially after dealing with violence and challenges, because so many of us, once we've experienced that, we feel like maybe it was our fault, like maybe we caused it, which makes us not worthy, right? How could that happen to us if I was a worthy person? Well, it can happen to you as a worthy person. I know that because you are worthy of love, happiness, and prosperity, and bad things happen. So I want you to say that one. Get it back in your head. Relearn the power of loving yourself. Whether you're a man or a woman, it is okay to love yourself. Not only is it okay, it's important. It's vital. So use that one. I am worthy of love, prosperity, and happiness. Now, when you say these, don't be sarcastic. If you're saying them sarcastically in a way that you don't believe it, then why are you even listening to this podcast? You want to be better. You want to be more confident. You want to be safer. That's what you're doing here. That's why you're listening. You know in your heart that you have the ability to have a greater life, a better life, a happier life. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be listening to me. Remember, your body is listening when you say this stuff. If you're being sarcastic or just having a bad attitude and tone, it's just like a child listening to you. The words don't matter, but the energy of what you say does. Your body wants to please you and to support you. So make sure when you say these things, you're saying them with energy and positivity and with love. Well, there you have it. And now you have a way to start or to speed up your journey back to strength and confidence. But it only works if you actually do it. You know that, so you've got to do this. And now that you've heard all this from me about mindset and how to adjust your mindset, how to use it, how it works in your life, I'd really like to hear from you. If you're listening on YouTube, I want you to write in the comments below and tell me about how you've seen your own mindset help you in the past and how you can use this to see your way forward. And if you're not listening on YouTube, if you're on our website or on one of the podcast channels, then I just want you to send us, if there's no comment section, I want you to send me an email. I want to hear how you have seen your own mindset affect your life, either good or bad. I want to see how that has worked in your life. I would also love to hear the positive things that you say to yourself to help you get stronger and more positive and more confident. And when you share them with me, other people can use them as well. So please share what has worked for you. And let's help other people who are trying to move from survivor to thriver as well. I really look forward to hearing these things from you. So until next time, as we keep moving from survivor to thriver, this is Cranford Blackman reminding you to stay safe and stay strong. To make sure you never miss an episode of Survivors to Thrivers podcast, subscribe at labcaf.com.